Good morning, my friends. As you probably guessed from the title, today we are going luxury shopping together. Now, to be really honest, I don't have too much on my agenda. There is really just one piece from Hermes that I would like to pick up, and then we'll have to see where else the wind takes us. Even though it's not that windy today, in fact, it's quite sunny. I really cannot figure out what's going on with the weather. Do you love that every single vlog I start with the weather forecast or a weather report, I should say? But today it's actually a lot more sunny than I expected, but I'm just waiting for my Apple Watch to charge because I don't go anywhere without my Apple Watch. If my Apple Watch does not track my steps and my workouts, they don't count, and I don't want to start my day all over again. So I'm just waiting for my watch to charge. And I thought I could show you my outfit in the meantime because this is something that I have been living in this fall, even though it's a really simple outfit. So I have this merino wool polo on, which is the perfect layering piece for this time of year. It's not too warm, but it still adds a little bit of coziness. This is something you can wear on its own or layered over things. I could even see myself wearing this layered over a shirt for that sort of double color look. But today I have on one of my favorite second skin pieces. It is one of the, I think it's called the Flex Tee from Organic Basics, which is this body hugging second skin layer, which you can of course wear on its own, but it also makes for the most amazing layering piece because the key to making your knitwear last is not washing them too often. But obviously if it's something that touches your skin directly, it's not the nicest not to have dry cleans. So by having things layered underneath your knits, you can make them last a little bit longer. And this is the most amazing layering piece because it will not add additional bulk to a knit. You can wear this under a chunky knit and it will still be unbelievably comfortable. But of course, you can also wear it on its own. And you know, I love my Skims second skin tees and long sleeve mock necks. But if you do not want to support Skims for one reason or another, this is just as good as Skims, if not better. And I do think that it is slightly less expensive. Not to mention that I'm pretty sure I still have a code with Organic Basics. So I can also make sure to have that linked down below for you. I have this in the ivory color on today, but they also come in a ton of different colors, which I love. Then I have my favorite Brunello jeans on in indigo blue today, and my masterpiece, my Hermes lizard belt, which the reason I call this my masterpiece is because I finally had the chance to punch additional holes in this belt strap, which I am incredibly proud of. And then the jacket that I have been wearing quite a lot is nothing surprising. It is a fall staple. Obviously, depending on where you live, a wax jacket is a great staple, but it might not be enough. It might not give you enough warmth. So what I've been doing is I've actually been layering this Hermes fleece underneath it, which is from the Equestrian line. And I got so many people asking me where this jacket is from when I was out this past weekend that I thought I would have to show you. If you love your Hermes ready to wear and you've never explored their equestrian line, they have so many amazing hidden gems that are really wearable casual pieces that of course look incredibly chic being worn to the stable, but they will look just as chic worn with other pieces too. So this is the Hermes fleece just on its own, which of course you can wear by itself. It will definitely look a lot more casual and a lot more sporty, but it's something that I really often wear for walking by. This fleece is available both for men and women. I think it comes in 3 different colors. So it comes in this khaki green, it comes in navy, and I think orange, and then it's fleece lined on the inside, and it has this water repellent finish, sort of outer shell, which is really nice and cozy. I don't think it would be enough on its own in the winter, but as a layering piece, it's incredible. You can put this on underneath anything and everything, and it happens to match that classic wax jacket look just perfectly. It genuinely looks like they were made for each other, even though they are from 2 very different brands at 2 very different price points. But I love wearing these 2 pieces together. They happen to match perfectly. So if you already have a fleece in your collection, don't forget about the fact that you can layer it underneath some other jackets too. And if you're looking for a new investment piece from Hermes, this is something that I've gotten a ton of wear out of over the past I don't even know, 6 or 7 years. So this is a great piece to explore, and across the board, the equestrian line is really something that I would encourage you to look into if you haven't done so yet. Although I do think that this outfit is going to be just a little bit too warm for today, so I might take the fleece off and just wear this jacket out. But the pièce de résistance, the piece I am most excited for, is this new bag, which it's not my first time carrying this out, but I think it is going to make its Hermes debut, which is this incredible leather trimmed canvas bag. I promise I will tell you all about it when I get back home from Hermes, but I just wanted to show you my outfit really quick because I am so excited to carry this bag out. It is the reason I ended up picking this bag up. It is actually part of a paid partnership with Fabrique, which we'll move on to in just a second. But the reason I ended up going for this bag is because of a bag that I last saw at Hermes. There was this, I think it was a Kelly bag or a Birkin bag. I think it was a Birkin 25 in toile with Swift details. And as soon as I saw this bag, I had to add this to my collection because I felt that it would add a really similar facet to my collection in a much more relaxed, laid back contemporary body at a fraction of the price. Like, I think the price of this bag is not even 5% of that Birkin bag. And I was so excited to give this a try. It's kind of like a Kelly bag meets the Balenciaga Rodeo, but it just feels so minimal, so stripped down. And I love the fact that this bag is offered in canvas, and this canvas is actually triple treated, so it's not something you have to worry about. And at this price point, it's genuinely a bag that you can use, enjoy, and take advantage of without having to be too precious about it, which is why I'm just going to grab it and shove it under my arm and carry it like this. I cannot wait to see what people think about this creation and also to hear your thoughts. But I will tell you all about not only this bag, but also some of the other bags that I picked up for fall winter. And without further ado, let me go ahead and grab my watch, and then we're going to head out and see what's new in stores for, what are we in? October. Kind of crazy, but let's see what's new on shelves for October. That has taken me a lot longer than expected, but what a fun day it's been. Now, I only have time to change out of one bag into another before I have to head to the gym, but I promise you I will tell you all about some of the most noteworthy pieces that we saw in stores today. But before we do that, I would love to tell you about Fabrique, and this portion of today's video is kindly being sponsored by the luxury brand Fabrique, which might be one that you're already familiar with. If you're not, let me quickly tell you about them. So Fabrique is no ordinary luxury brand because instead of having one or two designers at the helm of the house, they are actually a collective of over 350 incredible designers from all around the world, most of whom have worked for some of the most prestigious, most exclusive luxury brands out there, including Hermes, Dior, and Louis Vuitton. And what Fabrique does is that they will hire these designers and give them the creative freedom to design whatever they want. And Fabrique has the capacity and the toolkit to actually bring their visions to life using the finest materials, using artisanal precision, but offer these pieces up at a more accessible price point. Now, at first, Fabrique mainly focused on ready to wear, and they offered incredibly crafted, exclusive, timeless pieces that were created in small quantities. But now they have set their eyes on handbags too, and they've recruited an incredible designer called Valeria Massai, who has actually been with Fabrique since 2024, and she has an incredibly impressive career. She was most recently at Bottega, where she designed pieces that you will need no introduction to, like the pouch and the cassette. But even before her legendary work at Bottega, she designed pieces for brands like Dior, Bulgari, and even Miu Miu, which you can tell that she does have a lot of appreciation for Italian architecture, art, and design. Most of her pieces are a nod to her Italian roots. So it's not surprising that both bags that I tried from her collection are inspired by Italian architecture and are named after iconic Italian sites. The first one is the Rialto bag, which draws inspiration from the Rialto Bridge in Venice. If you've been to Venice or if you've seen pictures of that bridge, which I'm sure you have, you'll notice all these layered archways, which is what inspired this bag's multi-flap construction. It essentially has a double flap, quite similar to the Balenciaga Rodeo bag, which is what got me so excited about this particular design. Number one, the combination of canvas with the leather trims. And to be really honest with you, at first I got this bag a handful of weeks ago, and at first I thought that it might be too summery, but I actually think that because this color around the edges, this trim color is so warm and so rich, it honestly also makes for an amazing full bag. But I got really excited about this bag because it not only reminded me of the color combination of that Birkin 25 that we saw together a month or two ago, but the shape itself was reminiscent of the Balenciaga Rodeo bag, which, I've been hemming and hawing about, but I just could not bring myself to spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a Balenciaga bag, which I know a lot of you agree with. I know a lot of people still have a hard time supporting a brand that went through that much controversy. So if you don't feel like spending your money at Balenciaga, even though you love that design, this would be an incredible alternative because it not only features a similar double flap construction, but similar to the Rodeo bag, it also comes with a single, very soft and incredibly generous top handle. If you do not see the resemblance to the Rodeo bag in this one, I have no doubt you'll see it in this one, which is that very same bag, but in black leather, and this is made of Dutch calfskin. So I got this bag. I had to get this bag in both colors because I got so excited about the shape and about this particular color combination, and they are the exact same size. They have the exact same layout. The only difference is the color. So let me tell you about the layout and what they have in common. So they both have this double flap construction, which means that you can either have the flaps layered like this, or you can tuck the top flap inside the bag for a cleaner, more contemporary look, which I also really appreciate. And you will still have access to an additional pocket in the front. And just an interesting detail to point out here, if you love details and special touches, I love the lining in this bag because it is lined with the same herringbone canvas that Hermes uses for their dust bags, which is one of my favorite materials to line bags with. So it is 100% leather on the outside, but it is canvas lined, which makes it unbelievably lightweight. You have two large compartments and several different pockets, including a pocket on the back, which fits your phone perfectly. Speaking of what it fits, I have been carrying both of these bags, not only for running errands, but I have also carried the black one to class, and it does fit my 14-inch Mac. Now, another bag that I tried from Fabrique, and it's a shape that I'm usually not a big fan of. It's a bag that I wanted to try because I saw this in one of their campaigns, and it just got me interested. I tried to go into testing these bags with an open mind, but I have to be honest with you, I did not think I would love this bag, in which case I would have not featured it. But I did not carry any other bag last week except this one, and I'll tell you exactly why that is, which is the Duomo bag in the large size, which, as the name suggests, is inspired by the cathedral in Milan. It is a really beautiful, clean architectural shape, which comes in 3 different sizes. There's small, medium, and large. This is the largest one out of the collection, which measures 38 centimeters. Now, if I could have one wish, if Fabrique is listening, please do launch the largest size in suede too, because the medium and the small sizes do come in suede, which I am just blown away by. The largest size you can only pick up in black leather, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about. You know that black is my favorite color, but I would love to also add this back to my collection in suede. And let me tell you why I have been carrying this bag. It, again, not only fits my Mac, but it also fits all of my daily essentials, including the things that I need to take to the gym with me, which meant that I could take this one bag to class with me, and straight from school, I could head to the gym. I did not have to come home to drop my bag off and change into something else. I was able to have everything I needed in this one bag, including my water bottle, a change of clothes, a cap, and even a cosmetic pouch. And the reason I really enjoyed using this bag is because of how easily you can turn this into a crossbody bag. It goes from a shoulder bag into a crossbody bag so effortlessly, because you have these incredibly long straps on the side, which you can either leave hanging, which give this bag a really playful touch, or you do have these sort of straps, let's call them straps, that you can put these underneath and just drive them through, so it looks a little bit cleaner and a little bit more neat. But I think it adds a little bit of a playful touch to this bag, having them hanging out. And all you have to do is adjust the strap using these buckles. There are 6 holes on each side, and this genuinely goes from a really simple shoulder bag to a full-on crossbody bag. I am 5'11", and I don't even have to use the longest setting for this to turn into a crossbody bag on me. Similar to the previous bags that I showed you, every single detail is so well thought out. This particular design is made of Italian leather, and then you have a pocket on the back and also an additional pocket on the inside. And then you again have that golden beam detail instead of a more obvious branding or hardware, which I really appreciate. I genuinely did not think that I would get this much use out of this bag. I got this to test it, trial it, and give some feedback to the brand. But surprisingly, this is something that I cannot get enough of. And then the previous 2 bags, I think they're very different from one another. I think if you're looking for something a little bit more versatile, something that you can dress up or dress down, this is an incredible design to have in your collection. And if you're looking for a true workhorse, something that you can really put to the test, the Duomo bag, I have just been so impressed with. It has filled a wide gap in my collection I did not even realize was there. And again, it comes in 3 different sizes. So if the big one is a little bit too large for you, because it is a really, really large bag, not overwhelming, not cumbersome, but it is a large and in charge bag. Don't forget about the fact that it also comes in medium and small, and it's also available in suede. Please, Fabrique, launch this bag in suede. I will be first in line. But I think this is everything I wanted to tell you about these bags. Also, I do have a discount code for you. You know, every time I work with a brand, I try to ask for a discount code. So I will make sure to have it linked up here on the screen for you. This code should work on all of their bags. And Fabrique also has a loyalty program, but I will have all the details listed in the info box for you. Let me turn on the light behind me so we can begin. Welcome back, my friends. It's actually the next day. I did not have a chance to properly catch you up on everything that we saw at Hermes, and also a couple of other little fashion updates that I thought you might be interested in hearing about. But today I have all the time in the world, and I guess it's better late than never. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have my phone down here. I have all the pictures pulled up that I took yesterday, so I can tell you about everything that caught my attention, starting with that incredible panther pendant that I saw. Panther pendant, try to say that 5 times fast. That pendant that I saw in the window at Cartier, which was sitting on a double layer of, it was almost like a tennis necklace. Is that what you call those? Because of course you call an eternity band when it comes to rings that are set with larger diamonds. You would call that an eternity band. Then a tennis bracelet that is made up of single diamonds, that would be a tennis bracelet. But what is a necklace version of that called? Would that be called a tennis necklace? For argument's sake, let's say that's what it is, but please feel free to correct me in the comment section. There was this incredible panther. It was kind of like a full-on sculpture that was sitting on 2 layers of diamond necklaces, which was just incredible. I would not be surprised if that panther was actually removable and you could wear it on its own as a brooch, or you could add it onto those necklaces. But I just had to take a quick shot of it because it was so mind-blowingly beautiful. You know that I have a weakness for anything and everything panther inspired. I think if you're going to buy Cartier at this point and it suits your aesthetic, you will get the most bang for your buck with the panther collection. But that was quite a show-stopping piece. And then we went to Hermes. Before we move on to everything I saw at Hermes, I wanted to give you a quick update on Celine. I did not even pull out my phone at Celine because there was no point. The reason I wanted to stop by the boutique is because Celine has recently relaunched their luggage. Their most iconic shape is making a comeback. In case you were not aware, Celine has recently hired a new creative director who's bringing back some of their archival pieces, which I am so unbelievably excited for, starting with the new luggage that has given a facelift. The luggage is, of course, one of Celine's most iconic silhouettes, which is a bag that I went crazy for. It's kind of the it bag of my youth. I think that bag came out when I was 17, 18, and I was obsessed with it. I went through a couple of them in different textures and finishes. So when I saw that it was making a comeback, I can't tell you how excited that got me. And it has been given a facelift. It is a little bit more elongated, so it has more of an east-west silhouette to it, and then it also has this almost smile-like zip closure on the front. It's going to be available in 2 different sizes, in medium and large. And there is also a new style that is inspired by the luggage, which is a completely flat tote bag, which I think is going to be available in 4 different colors: black, red, yellow, and blue, a really vibrant electric blue. And I really wanted to see those bags in person. I thought that they were launching on September 26th, but they were not in stores yet. The boutique in Amsterdam said that they are taking pre-orders for the luggage, but I said, there is no point. I'm just going to come home and get them online. What I did not realize is that the tote bag is already available online, and I think it's $2,100, but the luggage bags are going to be an in-store exclusive. So it might actually be something that I will have to go back to see in person. I'm going to order the tote bag so I can review it for you guys because I'm quite interested in it. It will either be a really useful, practical, easy grab and go bag to have in my collection, or it will feel really awkward because of how flat it is. I recently saw a picture of Meryl Streep wearing that bag on set, and I feel like it's going to be quite a popular one, but I'm not sure about the size or not even the size, but more the proportions, because it's more of a square shape and I don't have any square bags. And I think there is a reason for it. So I'm going to order it online and keep you posted. Let me know if it's something that you would like to see a review on. And if you pre-ordered the new luggage, let us know in the comment section. It's going to be available, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, in medium and large. And I think both of them are just under $5,000, but that flat tote is $2,100. So that was something else that I wanted to see. And with that, let's move on to Hermes and what we saw at Hermes. Why don't we start with shoes? So I told you that there was one piece that I wanted to pick up at Hermes, which is their new kid sneakers, which are actually not that new. I think they launched for spring, summer last season, or maybe even the season before, but they are basically a newer take on my beloved Avanta sneakers. If you've been with me for a few years, please let me know in the comment section how long you've been watching me. But if you've been with me for a while, you'll remember me going on and on and on about the Avanta sneakers. I wore pretty much nothing else. Then those sneakers, when they came out, I ended up buying them in a ton of different colors. Well, not a ton, a handful of different colors, in orange, navy, and white, I'm pretty sure. Well, all of them were white, but they featured this lock inspired detail, an H on the side, which I ended up getting in different colors. And I loved the shape. It was one of my favorite designer shoes for years. Then they sadly discontinued those. But the kids' sneakers that they brought out are quite similar, not the same. They are almost like if the Avantage and the Bounce sneakers had a baby, because instead of having that lock inspired H etching on the side, they actually have a tiny little H in the sole, like in the rubber sole. There is an itty bitty H which comes in different colors, and it's a style that's available both for men and women. Sadly, they were not available in my size, and we did not have the time to get them online. So I'm going to have to go back to Hermes and try to get them online. And then there were a couple of interesting pieces of fine jewelry that I saw. There is a new addition to the amulet range. If you have been buying Hermes for a while, you will know of the amulet collection. It is a collection of fine jewelry that is inspired by the Holy Trinity of Hermes, so the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance. And it's essentially an itty bitty fine jewelry take on these bags. And back in the day when these first launched, there was a rumor out there that if you really wanted to get your hands on a Birkin or a Kelly, these were the easiest way to do that, because people used to say that if you buy one of these, you're pretty much guaranteed to be offered a quota bag from Hermes, mainly because they were so expensive. But they were not only available in gold, but also in gold with pavé diamonds, also in silver. In fact, they even had a charm bracelet where you got one of each and every single bag. And I think it wasn't only the Kelly, the Birkin, and the Constance that were featured on that charm bracelet, but you also had a mini bolide and then maybe a mini plume. It's been quite a while since that bracelet was around. Anyway, that is a collection that has been revived. They redesigned that entire collection a couple of years ago at this point, because back in the day, each and every piece was a different price. I think the Kelly bag was the most expensive, then the Constance, then the Birkin, because each one featured a different carat weight. And of course, the more diamonds you got, the more expensive the piece was. But that's no longer the case. Now they are the same price across the board. So it doesn't matter if you pick up a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance, they're all going to be 9,500 euros if you choose to buy them with paved diamonds, or you can also buy them in solid gold or in solid gold with sapphires. I think it's also available with fancy colored sapphires. But they have a new take on that necklace. Well, of course, you have the bracelet, you have the traditional pendant, and they also have a longer necklace now, which is so long that it actually features not only a bag, but also the iconic Hermes lock, which is the one that you would get with a Birkin or a Kelly bag. My boutique had this long necklace in rose gold in the Constance version, which to me was quite an odd combination, because the Constance is not a bag you ever get a lock with. So I didn't really understand why they would add a lock onto that necklace. I feel like they could have used a different motif from Hermes. They maybe could have done another Constance H, or they could have done something instead of a lock, just because lock and Constance bags don't go hand in hand. I think it is a cute idea. When it comes to a Birkin or a Kelly, with those bags, they could have also done a clochette, because again, that's another accessory that you get with one of those quota bags. But Constance and lock, wasn't blown away by it, but I do like the idea. And in case you're interested, they are $16,000, I'm pretty sure, in the US. And speaking of fine jewelry, they also had a Book Cellier bracelet, which is quite a rare statement piece. It is a motif that is inspired by Hermes's equestrian heritage, and it's so sort of iconic to the house that it has also inspired not only entire collections of fine jewelry, but also a bag that launched in 2022. It was basically, a lot of people compare that bag to the Constance, even though it had a completely different look and feel to it. It was inspired by the fastening on the Book Cellier bracelets, and then the gourmet chain was really beautifully, it was kind of debossed in the leather, and it was such a meticulously crafted bag that only a handful of artisans at Hermes were allowed to or were able to craft that bag to Hermes' standards. And I actually had the chance to meet one of the artisans who worked in the workshop that was responsible for this particular bag. And it was actually the very same workshop where they craft Mini Kellys, because of course Hermes has several workshops and each one is specialized in a different item or a different range of items. And it was the same workshop that also crafts Mini Kellys. Interesting detail. Anyway, it is one of those pieces that goes way back. It has been around for decades, and this particular bracelet is one that can be quite hard to find. They don't make a lot of it because it is a heavy, chunky, exclusive creation, and it is 34,000 euros. Something to keep in mind that even though it is a standard size, and I am usually a standard, this bracelet was huge. I mean, the gourmet chain is not only incredibly overwhelming and heavy, but it runs really, really big. So if you're going to get this, you might have to have the piece altered, which is of course something that you would be responsible paying for. It's a policy that I wholeheartedly disagree with, and I cannot wrap my head around. I mean, in what world can Hermes expect you to spend 34,000 euros on a bracelet and then ask you to pay for them making it smaller for you? I mean, that surely should be included in the price, but that doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to Hermes. Also, it goes for wedding dresses as well. I remember going wedding dress shopping with a friend of mine who bought a dress for tens of thousands of dollars, and then she was asked to pay for alteration, which again blew my mind, but it is what it is. I don't make the rules. I just try to follow them. But if you're interested, it is available now. And what I find fascinating about this piece, other than the fact that it is a huge part of Hermes' heritage, is the fact that the fastening is fully functional. It doesn't have a hidden sort of closure that just snaps open. Instead, you actually open this like you would open a belt, even though it's made of solid gold, which I really, really appreciate about this piece. And it is something that has also been available in silver, so you don't have to actually buy this in solid gold in case it's out of your budget. It's also available in sterling silver, and then there is a new take on this collection called the Boucle on Rock, which features the gourmet chain and then quite a few diamonds. Not that it makes this collection any less expensive, but if you love the gourmet chain, but you're looking for something else other than a bracelet, just know that the Boucle on Rock is a new collection that Hermes has been playing around with. And with that, let's move on to some of the bags that Hermes had on display. So I have the picture pulled up, and it seems like that the main colors that Hermes was highlighting yesterday were Gris Pantine, which is a new color for the season. It is this icy blue shade that definitely leans gray. It's kind of similar to me to Blue Glacier or maybe Blue Peon slightly, but it is definitely a cool toned bluish gray. Maybe Green Misty is another color that comes to mind, and it was available in a huge range of different leathers. So they had not only the picotin in this color, they also had a Birkin 25 in toile with swift details. I am obsessed with this toile Birkin 25 that they've been doing. We've been seeing this pretty much every single month in different colors from Hermes, but I loved it in this shade because I felt that it looked really modern and really fresh. I'm more used to seeing toile bags with black details or gold accents, but seeing it in this cool tone finish made it feel a lot more fresh and a lot more youthful, which I really appreciated. They also had quite a few bags, including a Mini Kelly and a Kelly 25 with the zipper on the front in the color biscuit. And then a color that's making a comeback, and I was really surprised to see it, is Havane. Havane is one of Hermes' most classic colors. It hasn't been around for as long as Rouge Ash or Black, but it is kind of in the same league with those classic traditional heritage colors from Hermes. It is a color that has been around both in regular leathers and exotic, but I tend to associate it with exotic leathers mostly. There was a point in time this color was extremely popular and widely spread in matte croc and matte alligator. Yesterday they had a Havana Mini Kelly in Madame leather. They had a Birkin 25 in Porosus croc. If you're familiar with Hermes's exotic hierarchy, you'll know that Porosus croc is the most expensive croc that Hermes offers, other than some of their more exclusive seasonal creations. When it comes to the core range of exotic leathers, Porosus croc is as expensive as it comes, especially in lisse finish. Porosus croc is known for having tiny little dots on each scale, and the reason it's so expensive is because it has the most symmetric distribution of scales. In fact, it's so symmetric and so even that it can often look and feel fake or almost like a croc print rather than actual scales, because some of them genuinely have the most perfect distribution of scales, which a lot of people appreciate. I am personally a big fan. I prefer personally alligator because I like that the scales have a more pronounced border to them, whereas Porosus croc tends to be a little bit more flat and even. And this particular bag yesterday was 44,400 euros because Porosus croc is of course the most expensive, and it came with gold hardware. And then the Constance I was telling you about earlier, which was also in the color Havana, was actually in matte gator. And then I'm trying to see what else. They also had a mini Lindy in this new shade of gray. And then on the other side, they had a Kelly on Disorder. So a Kelly Disorder bag. It was, I think it came out in 2024, 2023, or 2024. It was a runway piece, and it was actually inspired by a vintage Mini Kelly, not to be confused with the Mini Kelly 22 or the traditional Mini Kelly, but there was a Mini Kelly at one point that instead of having a single top handle featured something between a strap and a handle. It was, how could I describe it? It was almost as if it was just, it's kind of similar to the strap that you get with a Kelly Elan. That's the closest thing I can compare it to, yet it had the proportions of a Mini Kelly. That's the bag that this was inspired by. But what made this bag special is that it was in a cellier structure, and it had a Kelly pocket and a Kelly twist closure on both sides. It was considered, or it is considered, an exceptional bag, and it's now available in Epsom in this new shade of gray. I do not like the look of this bag, and I personally do not see how someone could carry this comfortably because it features a twist closure on both sides, and there's really only one way for you to carry it, which is under your shoulder. But I feel like it would be quite uncomfortable considering that you would have a Kelly twist closure digging into your ribs. But if you own this bag and love it, please let us know in the comment section. I can't believe I almost forgot, but right above the Kelly Disorder, they had a Go Team Birkin, which was again a limited edition launch. It came in two different colors, exclusively in a Birkin 25 in felt. This one is in the color Ebene, if I see it correctly. And then it also came in Blue Nuit, and the body of the bag was made of felt with swift accents. And what made this particular bag special, even though Hermes had done felt bags, is that the corners were reinforced with leather, whereas larger felt bags, so like an HAC made of felt, never had reinforced corners, which I don't know how I feel about it. Then it also had this pocket on the front and this huge leather pom-pom, which is removable. And the reason you had all these details is because this was actually inspired by American varsity culture. So that was kind of the inspiration behind this collection. It is an exceptional piece in case you're interested. Not my cup of tea, not the best that Hermes has ever done. And then they also had, speaking of exceptional bags, a Constance Clouté, which of course is a design that we've been going on and on about. I feel like it's something that I mention in every single one of my What's New from Hermes updates, because it is a design that launched in 2024, but Hermes cannot let go of this. In fact, they are so proud of it that they have just launched it in a new shade called Blue Abyss. which is exclusively available in box leather. It comes both in a Constance and a Mini Kelly with palladium hardware. And then, as you know, the Clouté collection will also be available in white or more like ivory for this upcoming season. But that's something else that they had on display when it comes to the Clouté collection. I adore the Mini Kelly with these studded details. The Constance, not so much. And these were all the pieces that caught my attention yesterday and I felt you would enjoy knowing about. Let me know in the comment section if you've made any recent discoveries on your last shopping excursion. I would love to hear what's been living rent free in your head. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And if you would like to give my new Fabrique bags a try or a look, I will make sure to have each and every single one of them listed in the comments and also in the info box along with the discount code. But I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I cannot wait to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.